Hi, my project is on pacemakers and defibrillators. So what are pacemakers and defibrillators? A pacemaker is an electrical device that delivers electrical pulses to prompt the heart to beat at a normal rate and to keep the heart in rhythm. A defibrillator, or an implantable cardioverter defibrillator, an ICD, is a device that detects arrhythmias and delivers an electrical shock to the heart that briefly stops it and allows the heart to restart and hopefully have a normal rhythm that it can maintain. And both of these devices are implanted in the patient's upper left chest, and electrodes actually feed into the heart. So why would someone need one of these? Pacemakers and defibrillators play a vital role in people that have heart issues or heart diseases and struggle with conditions such as atrial ventricular fibrillation, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, bradycardia, tachycardia, or just general arrhythmias. Bradycardia is a slow heart rate and tachycardia is a fast heart rate. Pacemakers are typically used for people with bradycardia because a pacemaker controls the heart rhythm so it can actually speed it up. And then ICDs are used for tachycardia. So if the heart rate gets too fast, you actually shock the heart to try to shock it, and hopefully when it restarts, it can maintain a normal rhythm. So all of these heart conditions can impede the heart's ability to keep a healthy rhythm and thus impairs blood flow and oxygen delivery to the rest of the body. So an inside look into what an ICD and a pacemaker looks like. So here is an ICD. It is implanted into the upper left chest. The electrodes feed into the heart, into the right atrium and ventricle. And then here's the pacemaker. Very similarly, it is implanted into the chest. The electrodes go through the vein into the heart and into the chambers of the heart. So exercise is a super important aspect of rehabilitation. So you're doing surgery on the heart, on the client in general. That recovery period is going to decondition the heart and decondition the client because they're essentially sedentary during recovery. So building back up to their baseline of their heart health and surpassing that, getting their heart healthier to prevent other diseases such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and obesity, because all of those conditions stress the heart further. Exercise can also help recover range of motion. So a lot of people that have this surgery or have ICDs, they don't want to exercise because of the fear of getting shocked. So if they're afraid if they exercise and their heart rate goes up, they're going to get an unnecessary shock. So a lot of these individuals have a low level of fitness due to that fear or just due to other underlying or diagnosed conditions. So for my case study, I chose a 50-year-old male named Alan. He's expressed wanting to start a structured exercise program. He has hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is the thickening of the walls of the heart muscle, and the thickening of the heart tissue actually impedes the electrical signals from traveling through the heart. So Alan has atrial and ventricular fibrillation, which is a result of this condition. So he's had an ICD for 20 years, and he's in decent health. He does not smoke, and he walks 4 to 6 miles a day with his dog at a low intensity. He has a BMI of 27, which is overweight, and he admits to not eating the healthiest. He's on disability due to liver disease and does not work, so he's relatively sedentary outside of his daily walks. So the conversation I would have with him is, what physical activity do you like to do? He's already admitted to liking walking with his dog. Maybe he likes walking with his family or biking with his family. And is there anything he dislikes? So if he really, really hates swimming, we're not going to suggest him to swim. And another question is, would you be willing to work with a nutritional professional? So he's admitted that he doesn't eat the healthiest, so that's obviously something he's aware of. And since we can't give him a nutrition plan, we can refer him out to someone who can help him learn how to eat healthier, learn how to control his diet and have a healthier diet. And then I would ask him, what are your health goals? So do you want to gain muscle? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be able to walk faster or start to run? And then the last question that's super important is, have you spoken to your cardiologist and your doctor about exercise in general? Have they given you limitations? Have they given you recommendations for exercise? And those are all things that we as exercise science professionals can use to create an even better exercise prescription that'll keep the client safe, but also help them meet their goals. So these goals, the goals he created are to lose weight to get to a healthy BMI, to gain muscle mass and strength, and to gain more flexibility and range of motion in his upper body. As I mentioned before, these are all very, very common goals of individuals with pacemakers or ICDs because of coming from a place of lower fitness and having the surgery that influences their range of motion of their upper body. So exercise testing. To test his aerobic fitness, I used the Cooper 12-minute walk-run test because he already has admitted to liking to run or liking to walk. To testing his strength, used the hand grip dynamometer, and to test his flexibility using the Canadian trunk forward flexion test, the sit and reach test. So for his Cooper 12-minute walk test, he was able to achieve 1,250 meters. And using the equation for VO2 max, that roughly comes out to 16.65 milliliters per kilogram per minute. And this actually puts him at a very low level of cardiovascular fitness. And then using the hand grip dynamometer, he was able to produce 77 kilograms of combined force between both hands, so adding the right and the left hand together, which placed him at a fair level of fitness for his age group. And then lastly, for the sit and reach test, he was able to reach 26 centimeters, which places him in the good category for his age group. So that is a positive. So a special consideration and a special thing to note is the exercise response in people with a pacemaker or an ICD. They generally have a normal exercise response. The devices don't really impact how their heart responds to exercise, but it does constantly monitor it. Individuals with these devices, as I mentioned before, typically have a lower level of fitness due to fears of triggering the device and going off, getting an unnecessary shock, and then also having other conditions that lower their fitness. So with an ICD, it is extremely important to monitor the heart rate response to exercise. So as seen in this diagram, if you have a person who is untrained, their heart rate and their beats per minute will spike higher than someone who is already trained. This is really important because a lot of the ICDs have a threshold in which they deliver a shock. So if the heart rate gets up super duper high, the ICD will see that as tachycardia and will actually deliver a shock to lower that heart rate. So we don't want that. It's up to the trainer to obtain programmed pacemaker modes, heart rate limits, and ICD rhythm detection algorithms from the client and the client's cardiologist, and make sure the client's heart rate is kept 10 to 15 beats below the ICD's threshold for delivering a shock. Because if they get a shock while they're exercising and performing their prescription, they're really not going to want to continue with it. So exercise prescription. For his aerobic prescription, I have Alan performing at least 5 days a week of light to moderate intensity aerobic exercise, such as walking, hiking, or biking for 30 to 60 minutes a day. Aerobic exercise is super duper important for strengthening the heart, getting their VO2 max up and their heart response to be a little bit, getting them to have a lower heart rate at rest. So his resistance prescription, Alan should incorporate 2 to 3 days of resistance training per week, alternating 8 to 10 exercises for each major muscle group, performing 8 to 12 reps for each exercise for 1 to 3 sets around an RPE of 11 to 13. And then for flexibility, to improve the range of motion of his upper body, he should utilize static and dynamic stretches for all major joints, specifically his upper body, 2 to 3 days a week for 10 to 12 minutes, holding each exercise for 15 seconds 3 times each. So special considerations. As I touched on before, it's really important to have the patient talk to their cardiologist, get the information you need based off of for the programmed pacemaker modes, the heart rate limits, and the ICD rhythm detection algorithms, because all of this information is literally the guideline for how their device is working and how they will, how you can keep them safe during exercise. And individuals with ICDs are safe to perform regular exercise because the device actually protects them from sudden cardiac death due to tachycardia or arrhythmias. If they have an ICD and they have a heart incident while exercising, that device could potentially save their life. And as I mentioned before, it's really important to keep the heart rate 10 to 15 beats below that threshold to avoid a shock at all costs. So in conclusion, individuals with pacemakers and implantable cardioverter defibrillators, ICDs, can exercise. They should exercise. They can live an active lifestyle. There just needs to be communication between the client, their cardiologist, and the trainer. They have to work together as a team to create the safest exercise prescription, the safest exercise plan, and they can establish an exercise routine to improve health and quality of life. And then here are the works cited. All of these sources have a ton of information on pacemakers and how to exercise with them and how they work. And so thank you.